Every sentence has a subject. Who remembers what the subject does? Remember when we find the subjects, Alicia?
It tells us who or what does the verb.
Perfect. It tells us who or what is doing the action, right? So what does the verb do then? Kyra?
Is telling you what the person did.
Right, it's the action. And we know we have different types of verbs. We can have helping verbs, but we can also have the action verbs. And then we also know that we can have prepositions. And does anyone know what the prepositions do in the sentence? What does prepositions do? Does anyone know? It's okay if you don't. Give me a thumbs up if you know. Okay? Give me a thumb sideways if you're kind of sure, but you're not sure. Okay, Brendan, do you want to give it a shot?
It just tells you the time, what place, and
Direction. Good, so prepositional phrases make the sentence more interesting, and they show location, time, direction. And we're gonna see that up here with these cards. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab out a couple cards. So I'm gonna grab out we, and then I'm gonna grab, let's see, let's do laughed. Okay, can I stop my sentence here? Can I put a period here and will this make sense?
No.
Is it a complete thought?
No.
Does it have a subject?
No.
What's my subject?
We.
Does it have a verb?
Yes.
So is it a complete thought?
Yes.
Yeah. Could I leave this alone with a period?
Yes.
Yes. Is it very interesting though?
No.
No. If I read that, I'd be like, okay, you laughed, but what did you laugh at? I want to know what you laughed at. So I can add a preposition to my sentence to make it more interesting. So let's do about. So I'm going to take about, which is a preposition. How can I finish this sentence to make it more interesting? We laughed about. What could I say we laughed about? Sam?
A stranger.
We laughed about the stranger. Okay, we could do that. Could we be more specific? What could they be laughing at? Let's try to be more specific. Daniel?
The dog.
We laughed at about the dog. What was the dog doing?
Playing.
About the dog playing. Okay, we could do that. So we laughed about the dog playing. Okay, so now is my sentence more interesting?
Yes.
Yeah, I have more information, right? And we talked about when you're reading, the books that you are more interested in are the ones that have a lot of descriptions and give you a picture in your head. So when you're writing sentences and you're looking at sentences, the more information they give you, the more interesting it is. Okay, so looking at this, we said that this was my subject and this was my verb. Who can tell me what the prepositional phrase is then? This is what we just started learning about a couple days ago. Who can tell me what the phrase is? We know the preposition is about, but what's the phrase? Tim?
About the dog playing.
Perfect. About the dog playing. That's my whole phrase. Okay? Could I add more prepositions to make this even more interesting?
Yes.
I could, but I could also stop here. Okay? So now that I've done this one, let's go ahead and look at another one. So I'm going to pick out another subject and another verb. Let's see, which subject do we like that we want to use? Who can find a subject? Looking at the cards, who can find a subject? Brinley? I. Brinley said I. Okay, so I'm going to use I. Who can find a verb up here? An action that we can use? Sam?
Swam.
Swam. I swam. Okay, now again, could I stop my sentence here?
Mm-hmm.
Could I put a period? Yes, but it's not very interesting. So let's add a preposition. Who can look at the board and find a preposition that I can use to continue the sentence? Andrew?
Near.
Okay, near. Let's see, where's near? There it is. Okay, I swam near. Okay, who thinks they can finish the sentence? We have a subject, we have a verb, and we have a preposition, but I need a whole phrase, so I need an object. Near what? What did they swim near? Vlad?
The dog.
Okay, I swam near the dog. What else could you say? Lillian?
Our class.
I swam near the class. Okay, if you're like on a swim team, that could work. Yep. Tim?
I swam near a bridge.
Okay, I swam near the bridge. Kyra?
I swam near the lifeguard.
The lifeguard. Any of those work. For the sake of this, I'm going to use the last one. So I swam near the lifeguard. Okay, so when I look at this sentence, I know your prepositional phrase always starts with the what? Preposition, and it ends with the what? The object, whatever we're talking about. Who remembers the two things I told you to ask yourself when you're looking for the object? When you have the preposition and you're asking what's the object of the prepositional phrase? Who remembers? You say the verb and then something else. Brindley? What or whom? So I would say to myself, in my head, if I'm trying to figure this out, I swam near what or whom? Lifeguard. So that's my what? Object. Perfect. Okay, what I want you to do now is look at your desk. On your desk, you have 3 piles. We already separated them out by color. I want you to take a quick look at the words on those papers. And I want you to raise your hand and tell me what part of speech you think the yellow strips are. Look at the words. What do those represent? They're all representing one type of part of speech. Is it a subject, is it a verb, or is it a preposition? Which do we see the most of? Let's see. Connor, what do you think? What color did I say first? Yellow. What are the yellows representing? Subjects. Those are our subjects, okay? So those are going to be doing the what? In the sentence, the action. Okay, now look at the red. What do those seem to be to you? What part of speech are the reds? Look at the words. What do you think they are representing? Jacob?
Preposition.
Prepositions. And then look at the green. What are those representing? What are those representing? Daniel? The verbs. Okay, so you have 3 different color strips and you have your whiteboard. And we're going to practice pulling our strips and making sentences with prepositional phrases, just like I did up here with my cards. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what subject and verb to pull out of your piles, okay? The words I want you to pull out are you and ran. So in your yellow pile, find the word you and put it on your board. And then in your green pile, find the word ran. So find you, and then in the green pile, I think I said, yeah, green pile, find ran. So we've got part of our sentence. Okay, now we have our orange pieces, which tell us the prepositions. And we want to make this more interesting. I could say you ran, right? Yes, I did say that, but I want a more interesting sentence. So let's go ahead and pull out the sentence, the preposition inside. So look at your orange strips and find the word inside. Find the words inside. It's a little, if you lay them out like this, you'll be able to see them better. So you, and then you're gonna find ran in here. So you should have a yellow you, a green ran, and an orange inside. Okay? And I'm gonna put it up here on my board. I should have those words while you guys are getting yours out on your desk. So you ran inside. Here's ran. And I think I have a you somewhere.
On the bottom.
On the bottom? There it is. You ran, and then I want to do inside. How could I finish this prepositional phrase? So you have your board. Go ahead and take your marker. What can we add to this sentence? You have your 3 words with your strips. What can we add to it to make it a prepositional phrase? Make sure you have them on your, you're going to use these like this. What can we add to it? And you're going to finish it. Just like I did up here. What could we add to it? Daniel?
You ran inside the house.
Okay, inside the house. So on your board, you should have your 3 strips, and then you're going to write next to it, inside the house. Okay, could I stop there? Could I add a period here? Does that make sense? Yeah? But I think I could do more. Let's do more. Okay, so I'm going to erase that period. Let's find another preposition. Because remember, you can have more than one prepositional phrase in a sentence. Let's add the word during. So in your orange pile, find the word during. We're going to add another prepositional phrase to make it even better. So in the red pile, find the word during. You ran inside the house during. And then in your head, while you're waiting for everyone to finish getting their strip, think about what you're going to say to finish that sentence. You ran inside the house, what? Let's think. Raise your hand when you have an idea of how we can finish that sentence. You ran inside the house during, Julia Alberto, do you have an idea? The afternoon. Perfect. I could say during the afternoon. What else could you say? What else could you say? Sam?
During COVID-19.
During COVID-19, yes. Brinley?
During dinner.
During dinner. So I guess you were eating while you were running. Lillian?
During the earthquake.
During the earthquake. That would be a good time to run. Yes, to get out. It's okay, you can just use that one. Okay, good. So you pick what you want to say. You could pick any of the ones that we did and then write it on your board. And remember, it needs to end with a period. So we have you ran inside the house during the afternoon. Is that sentence way more interesting than just saying you ran? Yes? I would rather read a sentence that says you ran inside the house during the afternoon. Does that give you a better picture in your head of what's happening? Yep. Okay, so now that we have our sentence, who can tell me what my prepositional phrase is? I have two of them. Who can tell me the first one? Tim?
Inside the house.
Good. So on your board, underline inside the house. That's my first prepositional phrase. Underline inside the house. Okay, and then what's the other one that we added to make it more interesting, Allison?
During the afternoon.
During the afternoon. So I'm going to underline that one. Perfect. And who remembers what the object of the preposition are? What do? They give us more information, right? So inside the what? House. During what? Afternoon. Okay? Good. Go ahead and put those strips back in their pile and then erase your board. And then I need someone to raise their hand to volunteer. Raise your hand to volunteer. You're not leaving your desk. Lillian?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like Lillian to pick out one yellow and one, one green strip from your pile. Randomly, just pick one yellow and one green, and then tell me what you found.
We laughed.
We and then laughed. Okay, so everyone on your board, pick out the we from the yellow and the laugh from the green. That's what Lillian picked. We're gonna do another one. We laughed. So you're gonna find the yellow and the green. We for yellow and laugh for green. Who can pick out a preposition? Who can pick out a preposition to add to our sentence? Because again, we could leave it at we laughed, but that'd be very boring. Okay, we laughed when, Alicia, what would you like to add? At. Okay, so Alicia found at. So on your papers, find your at in the red strips and add it to your sentence. So we laughed at. I don't think I have all of those on here. I only put a few of them up here, but that's okay. I'll just write it down. So we laughed at. Okay, while you're finding your other strip, be thinking of what you're going to use to complete that sentence. We laughed at what? At what? Vlad, what can we say?
The dog.
The dog. Okay, we laughed at the dog. So go ahead on your board and write the dog. So you should have we laughed at the dog. Can I add more? Yes? Who wants to pick out another prepositional phrase? Sorry, preposition. Jacob, pick out a red piece. We laughed at the dog. You've got to pick one that will make sense of the sentence. Which one do you want to use? 4? How about 4?
4.
Yeah? So Jacob said 4. We laughed at the dog for, what was the dog doing? Why did they want to laugh at the dog? What was he doing? Who can finish it? Sam?
Burping.
For burping? My dog has burped before, so we could say that. So what else could we say though for the dog? For sneezing. Dogs do sneeze. Brinley?
Teething.
Okay, you can say that. Let's see. Tim, what else could you say? What else could the dog be doing?
For trying to get the bone.
Okay, for getting the bone. Any of those work. So you pick what you want to write and add it to your sentence. So you should have we laughed at the dog for, and then whatever you choose to write to finish your sentence. Okay. Perfect. Now, what are we going to underline for our prepositional phrase on your board? What are you going to underline? Alicia?
The dog.
At At the dog is our first one, so everyone on your board underline at the dog. And then what's the next one we found? What's the next one we found, Lillian? For, and then whatever you finished it as. Correct. Good. Perfect. Give me a thumbs up if you're saying to yourself, I'm getting this. It's making sense. Perfect. Okay, erase your board and put your words back in the right pile. And this is what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have everyone at their seat pick out 2 reds, 2 greens, and 2 yellows. 2 reds, 2 greens, and 2 yellows. And what I want you to do is make 2 sentences like we just did using those strips. And you can take more prepositions if you need to. So you're making sentences and you're completing them with the words. So you have lots of different options there. You have lots of subjects, lots of verbs, and lots of prepositions to choose from. So once you have a preposition, after you get the red piece, you write down what you're going to finish it as, just like we did on the board. And then I'm going to read some of them. I'm going to pick some people who want to read their examples. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and write what you're going to finish it as. My brother sat, so you need a preposition. Make sure you underline the prepositional phrase. So now you got to write what you're going to finish it as. Use that. Use that marker. Yes. A stranger laughed at. Okay, so instead of, you could do this, but I want you to write out your sentence. So try to write out a completion. If you get your first sentence done, move on to your second sentence. And you can challenge yourself to add more than one prepositional phrase. Perfect, good job. My brother laughed at the rabbit. Passwords for the challenge. Good, perfect. My brother sat beside me during the play. Good, that's actually another prepositional phrase. So you could actually add this right here. And then you've got 2 phrases there. Make sure you underline your phrase. I'm seeing lots of people get it. Good job. Who would like to read one of the sentences they made? Who would like to read one of the sentences they made? Lillian, what did you make? Oh, that has 2. A stranger laughed at the person across the street. Who can tell me the phrases they found in there, the 2 prepositional phrases? A person laughed at the stranger. What was he doing? I forgot.
The stranger laughed at the person across the street.
Across the street. A stranger laughed at the person across the street. What prepositional phrases did you hear?
Across the street.
And? Perfect. Across the street and at the stranger. Who has another one that they found or that they wrote? Give me another sentence. Tim, what sentence did you make? Perfect. A big fish swam beyond the boat in the lake. And you underlined your correct prepositional phrases. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Go ahead and put your strips back in the right pile and then erase your boards. And what we're going to do now is we're going to use our strips, and on your own, you're going to try to create a paragraph that has the most prepositional phrases you can think of using the strips I gave you. And we're going to glue them down on paper. Okay? Any questions? Perfect. All right. So once you have your board erased, you can get out your paper and start making your sentences out.